7. I can't do it on my hands. I can't do it on my hands because I'm holding this up. So today is day 7 of documentation. Yeah, yeah. I think it's 7. It's 7. I've been doing this for so long, I lose track. Tomorrow is going to be my last day. So today, I shot with my uncle Stan Johnson, who was in the Marine Corps, and we went to the VA hospital near Jefferson Barracks, and met with the oh my goodness, public affairs person, and that turned out to be really good. We just shot underneath some flags at Jefferson Barracks. There were all the branches of the military represented, so that was really cool to see all those flags. And oh, whoever joined the chat, thank you. So that was pretty neat to see all the flags. And then we left there and went to the Arch downtown St. Louis by the Mississippi River. And I did some video of the arch and sat by the water, looked out over the water, and I was feeling like, oh, sounds wonderful. Hi, Infinity Wellness and Coaching. So we stepped by the arch, and my uncle was telling me that that is where they sold slaves, by the arch, and also the courthouse. And the courthouse is such a beautiful building, but it has a horrible, violent past of selling slaves. And so he was telling me about the history of slavery in St. Louis. And I knew about it because from the history books they called it the Missouri Compromise, and my uncle said that was no compromise. He said they called it compromise, but he said that there was a horrible time in history, and they made it sound nice by calling it the Missouri Compromise. So I learned a lot about slavery in Missouri, in St. Louis in particular. And then we went and we ate at near the Cardinals baseball stadium where my uncle used to work. He worked there for a little while. He might end up going back. He was in management, and they've been asking him to come back, but he doesn't know if he wants to come back or not. So we ate. I think it was called Team Cardinal Stadium, and the food was okay. And I got myself a T-shirt. Let me show you my Cardinals baseball. This is my Cardinals baseball T-shirt. And what's really hard for me is that I really love the Texas Rangers, baseball team. I went to a baseball team, Texas Rangers baseball game. And so when the St. Louis Cardinals played the Rangers, I never know who to go for because my extended family lives in St. Louis and I live in Texas. And so I just hope they never meet up in the playoffs because I never know who to root for. But anyways, yeah, so today was a good day. Okay, coaching, LOA, torn between two lovers. Most history books don't give us the raw truth. That is true. That is so true. And so anyway, tomorrow is my last day here in St. Louis before traveling back to Texas. And I'm not really looking forward to going back to Texas because it's so hot there. It's still hot. It's in the 90s in Texas. And here it's been like high 74, high 76. It's been really nice here. I got to go back to this hot Texas heat. And I am just not ready for all that heat. Um, and then I think let's see, okay, Monday, it was 100 degrees in Dallas, Texas. So we're flying into to Dallas, Texas tomorrow evening. And I'm just not. I'm just not looking forward to all that heat, y'all. It's like I'm dreading it. I'm dreading the heat. Okay, just stay longer then. I wish I could stay longer, but this Airbnb we're paying for cost a lot, and so I can no longer afford to stay at this Airbnb. So I need to take my behind back on to Texas, and then also I got some stuff that I got to do in Texas. We're currently looking for a new home to buy, so I got to get back, and my husband and I are still looking for a new home. So that's why I got to get back to Texas. But it's been a eventful trip, full of emotion. You know, being where my father is buried, even though we were living in Texas at the time. But being back here, because the last time I was in Missouri was when I was burying my father last year. So it's just been, I could really feel him. I didn't go to the cemetery because I had to go see my brother, my husband, my uncles, my dad's two brothers in the hospital. Well, one was in the hospital. He has dementia, and he looked so much like my dad. And it just tore me up to see him because I was remembering my father being in the hospital. And then I went to see my dad's other brother, remaining brother. There was four of them, six kids total. So I went to see my other dad's brother yesterday, who also has dementia, and he was actually uh, when we were there at the VA, they were checking him into the VA the same time we were there, but I didn't get a chance to go see him at the VA because I was with my other uncle from my mom's side of the family, and we needed to leave and do some other things. So that is why I didn't go see my father at the cemetery because it's just too much. You know, I can only handle so much pain and so much trauma in one trip because I had to see two of my uncles while I was here with dementia. And my cousin Alicia, who I interviewed, her father passed 2 years ago. And so she came over to my Uncle Clarence's house, who also has dementia. He wasn't in the hospital at the time, so she came over and she just broke down in tears. She was crying so hard because she said my Uncle Clarence reminded her, our Uncle Clarence reminded her of her father. And so we both were just crying a lot that day, just thinking about our dads, because her father passed 2 years and then before mine's in 2022, and then my dad passed in 2024. So we both were having a really hard time yesterday, seeing our Uncle Clarence Rogers, seeing him, and they all looked alike. All of our, all my dad and his brothers, they all look alike and they sounded alike. And just seeing our two uncles with dementia just tore me up. And I just couldn't go see my father. And I feel bad that I couldn't, but there's only so much that I could take. Because everybody's like, are you gonna go see your dad? You need to go to the cemetery, see your dad. But I just couldn't do it. But next time I come to St. Louis, I am gonna go see him. Uh, but just not this trip. So that's that. And a lot of so I don't really have to defend my actions. People are asking me why didn't you go see your dad, but you know it's just would have been too painful after seeing the other two uncles, one in the hospital and one getting ready to move to the hospital. It's just too much. But besides that emotional trauma that I was experiencing, and just being in the hometown where my dad and my mom grew up. Okay, that's okay, sis. He exists in the spirit. You seem connected to him there, anyways. I did. I've been feeling my father the whole time I've been in Missouri, St. Louis. I have just been, because some of the streets that we went down, I knew that my father, uh, I know that my father had walked down when he was a boy living here in Missouri. Cause we drove by the street that he lived on when he was a kid. We drove by that street, and so my father and my mother, their whole family grew up here in St. Louis. And I remember while I was at the arch today, I was thinking about my dad because he told me the story of how him and his grandfather, before the before the arch was built, my dad and his grandfather used to camp out where the arch is now. They used to camp out there because it was too hot in the summertime in St. Louis, and they didn't have any air conditioning. So him and his grandpa used to camp out uh, where the arch is now. When he was a kid, his grandpa used to take him there, and they would camp out overnight. And he told me all these stories of him and his grandpa over there at the Mississippi River. And so I was remembering that story, the stories my dad told me about him and his grandpa camping out uh, at the Mississippi River. So I'm so full of my father right now. I just feel him everywhere that I go in Missouri. Cause this was his city. This was his city, and this is my mom's city, and this city is my family city. We are not Texans, okay? I just happened to move there because that was the last place that my dad was stationed in the army. He was stationed, uh, what's now called Fort Cavazos, but back then it was called Fort Hood. And so that was the last place my father was stationed. And usually when a person retires from the military, they retire at the last place they were stationed. And so that's how we ended up in Texas. But we are not Texans. And so, um, and I wasn't born in Texas. I was born in Kansas on a military base. And my sister was born in Missouri. We're just not Texans. But that's where I live now because that's where my family is. My sister and my mom, her husband, her two kids, well, her one of her children moved to LA. And my husband's whole family, his immediate family, and their kids live in Dallas, Texas. So that's why I live in Texas, but I would prefer to live out of Texas because it's just so hot there. We don't have season there. We just have medium hot and hot. That's Texas weather. It's medium hot and hot. Occasionally we'll get a little bit snow in the wintertime, and people can't drive on it, and there's so many accidents, but we don't have much of a winter there. The winter may last for a month, okay? And we may have 1 or 2 days where it's in the 20s. And if it snows, the snow is gone, has melted by noon. We only 2022, we did have that snowstorm that took everybody by surprise, and we had probably about 5 feet of snow. That took everybody by surprise, and people were without electricity and water. That was 2022. So whenever it snows in Texas, people get nervous because we're on our own electrical grid. And so if it snows in Texas, people get really worried because of that 2022 snowstorm. That was a fluke. Say what you will. Some people don't believe in climate change, but I know that climate change because we experienced it in Texas in 2022. And that was very scary and dangerous situation. But anyways, I went on a whole nother I went on a whole nother topic. Wow, that what an honor to do what you did. Bless his soul. Okay. Thank you, Infinity Wellness and Coaching. But I went on a whole nother tangent. I don't know how I went from I'm just talking. That's just how my mind works. I just went from one extreme to another. But yeah, but this has been a really special time for me in St. Louis and being with my family and making this documentary. And I have had so much support from family members and then from people that I don't even know. I don't even know some people and they're like, "Oh, we'll help you. We'll help you find a place to premiere your film because I'm going to premiere this documentary in St. Louis where all my family is. I'm going to fly back here probably March, April of next year, 2026 because I still got a lot more filming left. I am not done by I still got 5 more people to cover. So I am not done. I still got a lot more work to do. And I'm looking for a house to buy. My husband and I are looking for a house to buy. So I still got a long ways to go. I got a lot of editing to do. It's gonna be my first feature film ever. It may be my last. It may if if I do this film and it does well, I don't know if I ever do another documentary, full-length documentary, because this is really hard. It's a lot of work, and it's just me. I and my husband, because he helps. But I gotta coordinate everything. I gotta figure out all the shots. Had to spend my own money coming to St. Louis. Had to pay for an Airbnb. It's just me. There. I don't have any backers. I don't have anybody but myself. Well, I can't. That's a lie. That's a lie. I have God. I know, oh, she's getting religious, but hey, I'm a Christian. That's who I am. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. That's who I am. And I'm going to profess my faith. So I'm not alone. I got Jesus. But it's been something. It has been something. The documentary is about my family's history in military service. Both sides of my family have served and are serving currently in the military. We go back to the Revolutionary War. Okay, we go that far. Our service in this country goes all the way back to Revolutionary War. That's how deep both sides of my family are in the military. We're deep, 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 deep. Uh, all branches of the military, all branches of the military. So that's what the documentary is about. I did a short version. You can see it on my channel. It's called a family of soldiers. Yeah, you can see the short version of the documentary on my channel. So okay, I think it is a wonderful for so many reasons, an inside look at what it does at okay, what a family does or something. Okay, yeah. So my family goes way, way, way back with the military, and I lived. We moved every 3 years when my dad was serving. We moved a lot. Lived in Germany twice for 6 years. We lived in Tacoma, Washington. Uh, we lived here in Missouri for 1 year. We didn't stay here that long. And I was born on a military base. And a lot of times I make friends with people and I'm instantly close to them and I don't know why. Then later on, I find out that their parents were also in the military or they served in the military. When um, when military people meet uh, for some reason, they're always able to communicate with each other. And I have 3 friends. One of them I have been knowing since I was 6 years old. My father and her father served in the military in Germany. And then I have 2 other friends, they're sisters, and I've been knowing them since I have been 11 years old. So what's this? Something you can't live without. Okay. And so we have that bond because our parents served in the military together. And I got 2 other friends that I didn't even know that their parents were in the military. One of them lives in California, and I met her in the grocery store in California. Her father was in the Air Force. He was a pilot in the Air Force, and he served in Vietnam. And my dad served 2 tours in Vietnam. And then my other friend, Jennifer, she served in the Air Force, and her father was in the Army. And I didn't know that when I met them. We just instantly made friends. We just really close instantly, and that's why. But anyways, I'm talking so much, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off. So tomorrow is my last day here in St. Louis, day 8, and I got 2 cousins that I'm gonna interview tomorrow morning, and then I'm getting back on the plane and flying back to hot Texas. Uh, wait a minute. I'm gonna get on the plane and fly my behind back to hot Texas, where it's still it it's 90 something degrees, and that's considered cool. That 90 degrees in Texas is considered cool because you're usually looking at 100+ degree weather this time of year. So I'm gonna quit talking. Peace. Next time you see me, I will be back in Texas. Talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye bye.